For an honest man, would we take a fall? Or even for a brother, would we die at all? For the good of other people, would you give your life? Can you teach me the power of sacrifice? And if love is the answer, how much is it worth if I ransom my desires like a savior on earth? As our days are numbered and each second wastes away, how do we fill our lives with substance? What's the price of love today? There's a power. I've been faced with offers to profit from your loss, but I became your benefactor, 'cause the game's too high in cost. Could I ever face the future, knowing what I could have done? If I proffer more than friendship, then the race can still be won. And if love is the answer, how much is it worth if I ransom my desires love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice, sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never feel those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. All that might be a mistake, but it's worth making. And don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice, sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand by the ocean. And if one door closes, I hope one door opens. Promise me you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance. Dance, I hope you dance. Dance, I hope you dance.
beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you. And so it is. I see the child in you. I see the sweetness in you. I see the softness in you. And so it is. I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the goodness in you. I see the wisdom in you. I see the strength in you. And so it is. I see the joy that's in you. I see your light shining through. I see the love that's in you. And so it is. I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic, power, pure sweet love. I see the grace that's in you. I see the courage in you. I see the heart that's in you. And so it is. I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you. And so it is. I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see your greatness, your greatness. And so it is. I see God's grace on your face. I see the beauty in you. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
Thank you, Courtney Hinton. See the beauty in you as well, my dear. And thank you, Richard, Roderick, Rudy, for Get Here. As is our practice. Oh, first of all, good morning, good morning. I'm Reverend Cheryl McCullough, and welcome to your time of transformation, and thank you for worshiping with us this morning. As is a practice, a member of our prayer team is holding us in prayer during the entire service. And we invite you to join them every Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. for their prayer call, a powerful time to exchange prayer. How wonderful can that be? And you can submit prayer requests and requests for spiritual counseling online, or you can call the office and someone will assist you. Now, just some brief announcements before we get into our service today with our speaker. Today is the last day that you can complete our reopening survey, so if you have not done so, please go online after the service and do that. We'd love to hear from you. Divine Connections continues with Reverend Sylvia every Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. The book club is coming up this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. The book is The Sum of Us: What Racism Cost Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together. And it's by Heather McGee. And I want you to put a reminder on your calendar for these next two events coming up. Next month on Wednesdays from August 18th through September 29th at 6:30 p.m., we have the class, The Faith Factor, a transformative Bible study. So for all of those of you who missed that Wednesday Bible study that we used to have, this is your time to join in on Zoom with Reverend Beverly Saunders Biddle for this class. And Thursday, September 9th, the prayer ministry has started planning our 2021 World Day of Prayer activities. So put that on your calendar as well and be ready for a day filled with prayer and meditation just for you. And I always remind you, read the emails that we send out to you, or check out our website at unityofwashingtondc.org. It has all the information needed for you to connect to our classes and other events and activities that we have here at Unity of Washington, D.C. While the building itself may continue to be closed to the public and in-person type activities, we still have a lot that we offer and present to you every week. So our speaker, today it's Reverend James Trapp, and he's blessed us with his messages before. Most recently, he was our speaker on Father's Day. For those of you who may have missed that, let me just share a little bit about his background. He is currently the Senior Minister of Worship at Spiritual Life Center in Sacramento, California, and he's the president of Star Human Capital, a consulting firm dedicated to applying universal spiritual principles to inspire and instruct others to create their best lives and strategically improve their organizations. He is a former CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries. He is an active participant in cultivating a global community and fostering mutual understanding and respect amongst spiritual traditions of the world. And he participated in the Parliament of the World's Religions that were held in Barcelona, Spain, and Melbourne, Australia. He also served as senior minister at Unity on the Bay in Miami, Florida. In addition to being an ordained Unity minister, Reverend Trapp has a bachelor's degree in economics from Princeton University and a Juris Doctorate from the University of Florida. He studied at the Bar Center for Buddhist Studies, where he has enhanced his proficiency for both practicing and teaching mindfulness meditation. Reverend Trapp's message today is titled, and I love it, The Creative Power of Your Words. So let's give a warm welcome for Reverend James Trapp.
I invite you to be still and simply observe your breathing for a moment. And listen, deeply listen. And know that the Spirit of the living God is seeking to tell you something. And as you hear those words that may come in a feeling, if not in words themselves, is reminding you that you are a unique, unrepeatable expression of the Spirit of the living God. And when those words come up, if they do come up in words, you speak them. You affirm them. And know that they will not return void. They shall return having completed the task from which they have been sent. So you live these words. You speak these words that liberate you and set you free and bring you to the highest and best of who and what you really are as a child of God. Those words are words of health and wholeness. And you know these words are your divine birthright. It is who you are. And we're reminded that it's God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom which is ever expanding good. You accept that good now. You simply affirm that all my needs are met. And as it comes your way, you claim it. You claim that good for your life. And that good includes the infinite abundance that is around you and being expressed through you. For we know that there's no limitation in this presence that we call God. We nearly and just have to raise our awareness in order to capture it, to be one with it. And as we capture it and are one with this presence, we speak words of abundance and know and affirm that I'm surrounded by the unlimited, infinite nature of this presence in my life and in my world. And we know this infinite good is love itself. And we can agree that God is love. And this loving presence is everywhere. There's no spot where this presence is not in our life and in our world. So this presence is only sending us this divine and perfect love. And we affirm it. We firm it up in our awareness as we say, God is love. And God's love is everlasting. God's love is unshakable. We attract that love in our personal lives because this is who we are, and all those around us truly are, even when we cannot always see it. We attract that divine loving presence in and as our group organizations. And as more and more radiate this love, it elevates everyone in the group. We radiate that love from ourselves and from people that we know or don't know. Because as we say, God is everywhere present. And we are here to be the channels and the expressions of this presence everywhere that we go. And it's not limited to us, for everyone comes from that same source of love that we call God. So in our daily life, we speak words of wholeness. We speak words of abundance and plenitude. And we speak words of divine and perfect love. It is who we are. It is what we have come here to be. And as we are being that, and we're speaking that, we manifest it in and as our life. And it shows up in our world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen and amen. Well, greetings once again to my friends at Unity of Washington, D.C. It's good to be back to share with you once again. And I have this one thing to say. Is life good or what? As I was preparing to share my talk with you today, there's been a lot going on in my life, many personal tasks waiting for me to get on top of. My duties at my center here in California, as well as personal things going on in my life. And I found myself saying to myself, self, I have no idea how I'm going to get all this done. And then I realized, James, you're talking about the creative power of words. You need to come up with a different set of words to speak to yourself about. So I've been saying, oh, goody. I can't wait to see how wonderful everything's going to work out with ease and with grace. Interesting, a whole new and different energetic overcame me simply because I used different words. There are a number of biblical phrases that express the power of words. One is, life and death are found in the power of the tongue. By thy words ye shall be justified, by thy words ye shall be condemned. Words have power. They can either build up or tear down. Words can persuade. Words can reshape minds and even compel action. I recall a story of a group of frogs had traveled through the woods, and they were frogging along as frogs do. And two of the frogs fell into a deep, deep pit. And the other frogs that were left behind, peeked over, and they looked over into the pit, and they told those two frogs that they were as good as dead, that it was impossible for them to come out of there. Apparently, ignoring the discouragement, these two frogs tried to jump anyway. And a while later, one of the frogs lost its spirit and the constant discouragement that he was hearing and simply gave up and unfortunately transitioned. He died. But the second frog kept on jumping. The more the others commented and started saying words to that frog, the harder he tried. And finally, he jumped out of the pit. And the other frogs who had been left behind said, didn't you hear us? My God, we kept saying there was no hope for you. All the other frogs were saying that this is what they were telling him. And the frog that was in the pit and eventually jumped out said, well, I'm a little deaf. I thought you were cheering me on. Well, the point is this. Encouraging words make the difference. Even when we only believe that's what we heard. We are creative beings. And the critical tool that ignites the expression of that creativity is the power of the spoken word. It's also known as the logos. Essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson noted that we are an inlet and may become an outlet of all there is in God. More than we can imagine, we contain the full creative power of the universe through our words and through the consciousness that we speak from. So our words matter. They matter a lot. Realizing this, let something good be said. Whenever we speak from that consciousness, we keep in the flow of the divine. The flow is uplifting, encouraging, and life-affirming. To be in that flow, we don't want to speak words against ourselves. When we speak words that are against ourselves, we fight the power of the entire universe, which is always supporting us. And then we end up creating discord in our own consciousness. And words that work against us are words of complaint. If you want to prevent good from flowing, just be a good complainer. Because a good complainer may not be you, but you know about them. A good complainer searches and searches every day for something to complain about in God's great universe, and they complain about it until they find it. And so they just complain and complain until they become a complainer without ceasing. Totally opposite of praying without ceasing. They become a complainer without ceasing. Their whole being is just a big complaint. But complaining is simply the inability to see the divine. It's a public declaration that says, I can't see God. I can't see God. That's what complaining means. I can't see God. Because such words block our spiritual vision and insight. And all we see is negativity and missed opportunity. Someone can become such a magnificent complainer that they block good so much that it becomes their subjective, so that their life gets worse and worse and worse. And my God, if you combine blaming with complaining, oh my God, you rise to be an expert of using words against yourself. Like I said, no one here. But you know people who do that. They know exactly who to blame. Oh, my mother dressed me funny when I was young. It was my ex-spouse. It was my ex-boss, my present boss. They just know how to blame, and now sometimes they just hit and miss, and life kind of looks good at times. But to successfully create discord in consciousness and block good, use the words against them, they have to really complain till they get into their cells, until it becomes something without ceasing in their consciousness. We don't want our words to be used that way. Our words are creative. So let something good be said. And when we say something good, when we express words of gratitude, and when we start with any small thing, that thing we take for granted, be grateful for those things. Because oftentimes we just train ourselves by rejoicing in gratitude. If we could do that, oh, what a big difference in life it will be. Because we know the good is there even before we get any news in the morning. We want to practice and rehearse gratitude in advance. We'll say things like, before the day starts, oh, somebody's going to tell us something wonderful today. Oh, God is good. Oh, my God, my heart is beating. Oh, yes, the oxygen just extracted from the air to fill my life. Yes. Oh, a new idea just flowed through me, and I'm being made younger. Because we're as old as the ideas flowing through our awareness. If you have the same outdated ideas, oh my God, you're getting old. You want to focus on how God is operating in your life, then practicing speaking words of gratitude. The good news has happened. I mean, what could be better and greater than you're spiritually made in the image and likeness and not of God itself? I can't think of anything better than that. I mean, what can be greater than your history has no power over you? It does not matter what has happened in your life, what you've done, what you haven't done, or what you've accomplished or not accomplished. What has ever happened in your life, it doesn't matter. This is the good news. When we use the creative power of our words and let something good be said, that's what we want to do. And when we do that, we're able to hold more power than like a wire that can hold electricity. As we let something good be said, we begin to hold more and more the inspired thought of God. And we radiate more and more of the energy of spirit. And our attention becomes more appreciative of the presence of God. Our genius capacity is increased as we use the creative power of words for us and not against us. We want to be our own best cheerleaders. In fact, even the words we use toward other people or about other people make a difference for us. You know, there's a writer named Imelda Shanklin who wrote a book, What Are You? And I always remember this line she has in the book. She said, never speak or want for another what you would not want to see objectified in your own life. Conversely, what you say for others, what you want to have in your own life is what you want to have come out of your mouth. Even if you don't particularly care for the person, or even worse, if you can't stand that person. Because understand this, When you speak those words, you keep the original. They get the copy. Often when good happens to someone else, some people, they feel diminished. They hear some good news, oh my God, about someone else, and their heart drops. They hear something like, why did that happen to her and not me? Or why did that happen to him and not me? How'd he get that job? What's she doing with him? I just don't get it. What is he doing with her? How they use their words makes a difference. We may be asking, how did they get such good fortune? It must be some kind of luck or accident in this grand universe. Whatever we want to have, we want them to have it. Because if one person is blessed, we're all blessed. So we train ourselves so that whenever we hear good for someone else, practice speaking and rejoicing in their good. There is creative power in our words. So let something good be said. Which is why we should never, ever talk about how bad things are to anyone unless we're trying to get an agreement in prayer to change consciousness. So potent and powerful in transforming our life. It's a discipline when we do this. It's a practice. It's a training to stop talking about how bad things are in our life, how bad the state of affairs are in our world, or whatever or wherever it may be. Unless we're going to get an agreement in prayer, in consciousness about truth, about the spiritual idea in back of the appearance, about the potentiality, about the opportunity, about the way the universe is operating and working together for good, though things appear to be negative, appear to be lacking, appear to be limiting. Because if we use creative words in this way, things will change. And they'll change by getting worse. We want to use the creative power of our words by speaking and declaring the future we want to see. They're even more powerful when those words come straight from spirit. As the cliche goes, don't listen to what you're saying. Say what you're listening to. When we lowly listen and hear that still small voice and speak the words that we hear from the presence of God, we know the words will be something good because they are of God, and God is good. Imagine if everyone in our communities, if everyone in our country, if everyone in the world, for that matter, would just take 5 minutes of silence, lowly listen, and then said only positive, grateful, constructive words for one day. Now, I imagine that if people were faced with that, some people wouldn't have anything to say. It would be like a Quaker meeting, total silence. Because some folks won't know what to say, because normally every time they speak, they limit the allness of God. So they just have to be quiet. So it's okay. Please be quiet. Do us all some good. Stop limiting God. Stop limiting the universe by saying how bad things are, how bad the world is, how tired you are, how things never go your way. Oh my God, I know what's going to happen today. It's going to be bad just like it was yesterday. No. Well, please be quiet so that what the world is speaking is only and are only the qualities of spirit. And then they will see a transformation in a twinkling of the eye. We'll see a transformation in a magnificent way. It makes sense not to put into words that we do not want to take place in our lives. Yet how often do we speak words that don't reflect what we want to see manifested? Well, I want to leave you one practical tip to help you let something good be said when we speak. It's the 7-day verbal diet. Now, we have food diets, but this is a verbal diet. This is a diet when for 7 straight days, you think before you speak. You listen to spirit before uttering a word. And then only articulate the words that reflect what you want in your life and in our world. If everyone in the country and the world would fast from harmful, destructive, and caustic words for just one day, oh, imagine what a great change we would have take place in our lives and in our world. You know, as we look around, we can see our world is begging for a new perspective. It's begging for a new energy. It's begging for enlightened leadership. It's begging for a way of handling conflict. It's begging for a new way of solving issues. And that world can begin to be made through the strategic conversations which are a byproduct of what we're saying and what we're listening to when we go to that still small voice. Basically, I'm saying our world is remade by first thinking in terms of God ideas. It is reformed and transformed by the cutting-edge thinking that we are in conversation about on a day-to-day basis. There is creative power in our words. Our world is reformed and transformed by the synergistic conversations and the strategic thoughts and conversations, and we can become history makers by speaking a new future. In the book of Isaiah, the 55th chapter and 11th verse, it says, the words that come out of our mouths shall not return void. They shall accomplish the purpose for which they are sent. So let something good be said, because our words represent the songs of our life. And our life corresponds to the nature of the song we are singing at any given moment. So we ask, what am I singing about through the course of my day? What does my song sound like? What words am I using? Are my words victorious? Are they about love? Are they about peace? Are they about harmony? Are we affirming and setting up an energetic field for new headlines to show up on the news? Peace is now the order of the day all over the world, including the Middle East or any other place in the world. Are we speaking words that release all fear of lack and declaring we are surrounded by abundance? We want to protect our consciousness by affirming words that are life-enhancing. We want to protect it. And it starts by understanding life and our consciousness correspond to the nature of our song and the nature of our words. We do not want to move till we're moved by the Spirit. We do want to speak until we're spoken through. When we are in that space, we deny the appearances and we speak the changeless, spiritual, infinite, limited life that is within us. Take that with you. Words have power. So when we speak, let something good be said. And so it is, and so we let it be. Peace and blessings to you.
Within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you'll say it's yours. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe click your heels 3 times if you believe, then you'll be there. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in that spark that lives in your heart. Believe all these things, not because I told you to, but believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself as I believe in you.
Thank you again, Courtney Hinton. It all starts. We have to believe in ourselves. Oh, and what a powerful message from Reverend Trapp. The creative power of your words. So try that 7-day mental diet with those words that you say. Let us now bless our offering. And I ask you, put your hands together. Yes. And if you have that check or whatever it is you're going to give, you're giving from within here, placing it in your hands. And know with me our offering blessing. For it is divine love through me that blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. But we cannot outgive God, and this we know to be true. So thank you. Please see the various ways that you can give to this ministry at the end of this service. And if you miss it, again, go online or call the office and someone will assist you. We thank you for your consistency and generosity in giving from your abundance. We'll close with our affirmation for the week. And listen to these words, affirming them with me. My words have power. I speak only words that uplift, encourage, and affirm life. Yes. We extend the hand of fellowship for you to join us again next week. You are blessed and a blessing. And let me remind you to continue to stay safe. Continue to follow the guidelines of the CDC. For although we are moving through this pandemic, it continues to raise its head. So we need to stay focused and stay safe. And now our closing songs.